Ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention for a moment. Now listen. I ain't up here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm here to tell you the truth like your grandma used to. The kind that don't always feel good, but it'll change your life if you let it. See, today we gon' talk about something people don't hear enough. Think about yourself. Always. Yeah, I said it. And I know some of y'all already. Clutching your pearls like Steve. That sounds selfish. But let me break this down to you real clear. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't love nobody right, help nobody right, dream big, or even get out the damn bed right if you ain't taking care of you first. So today we gon' flip the script. We gon' stop apologies in for putting ourselves first. 'Cause you matter, your dreams matter, and it's about time you start acting like it. Let's talk about it. You can't help nobody if you ain't helped yourself first. That's the truth a lot of folks don't want to hear. See, we've been raised to believe that being selfless means running ourselves into the ground for everybody else. We put everybody's needs before ours, family, friends, co-workers, and then wonder why we feel empty, exhausted, and lost. You can't drive a car on empty, right? Same thing with your spirit. Same thing with your mind. Think about it. If your life is falling apart, your health is slipping, your energy is gone, how are you supposed to lift somebody else up? You out here trying to be Superman for everybody, but even Superman gotta rest. Even Superman gotta go back to the fortress of solitude and recharge. Taking care of yourself ain't selfish. It's necessary. The problem is we confuse sacrifice with self-neglect. We call it love when we stretch ourselves too thin. But real love, real support starts with being whole. If you're broken, tired, bitter, or drained, what you giving people ain't the best version of you. You can't pour wisdom, joy, patience, or kindness into anybody if your cup is bone dry. And some of y'all out here trying to serve a full, course meal out of an empty kitchen. It's not about ignoring others. It's about making sure you show up as your best self asterisk for asterisk others, asterisk with asterisk others, by first showing up for you. When you prioritize your growth, your health, your peace, guess what? Everything around you gets better too. Your relationships improve, your work gets sharper, and your confidence, it shoots through the roof. But it all starts with giving yourself the same energy, the same care, and the same respect you've been giving everybody else. Stop feeling guilty for choosing you. That guilt, that little voice in your head telling you you're being selfish, it's a lie, planted there by years of putting everybody else first. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that loving ourselves too loudly is wrong, that setting boundaries makes us cold, that saying no means we're letting people down. But let me tell you something real. Choosing yourself is not a betrayal, it's a breakthrough. You're allowed to say, I need rest. You're allowed to say, I don't have the capacity for that right now. You're allowed to walk away from people, places, and patterns that drain the life out of you. And you don't owe nobody an explanation for that. You don't have to apologize for protecting your energy. You don't have to feel bad because you said yes to yourself instead of saying yes just to keep the peace. See, people will always take as much as you let them. They'll celebrate you when you're giving, but some of them will guilt you when you start choosing balance. Don't let that stop you, because here's what happens when you keep sacrificing yourself to make other folks comfortable. You lose you. You forget what brings you joy, what gives you peace, what you truly want. And that ain't living, that's surviving. The truth is, people who really love and respect you won't make you feel bad for choosing yourself. They'll clap for you, they'll understand, and the ones who don't, that's just the universe showing you who's been depending on your silence, your obedience, your burnout. Choosing yourself ain't the problem, it's the solution. It's how you reclaim your time, your sanity, your life. Guilt has no place in self-respect, and you don't need permission to put yourself first. Protect your peace like it's your paycheck, because peace, real, deep, soul-level peace, is priceless. And just like your paycheck, you earned it. You work hard every day, not just on your job, but on your growth, your healing, your mindset. So when something threatens that peace, be it a person, a habit, or even your own thoughts, you've got to treat it like it's trying to steal your livelihood. Because, in a way, it is. See, some folks think peace is just silence or being alone in a quiet room. But peace is deeper than that. Peace is waking up without dread. Peace is walking into your day without carrying 10 people's problems on your back. Peace is knowing who you are and not letting anybody shake that. And let's be real, peace is hard to come by when you're constantly surrounded by drama, by chaos, by people who only call when they need something, by environments that don't support your purpose. That's why boundaries are so important. That's why learning to say no is so important. You can't just give people unlimited access to you like your free Wi-Fi. You've got to guard your time, guard your energy, guard your mind, because not everybody deserves front row seats to your life. Some folks belong in the balcony watching from a distance, and the wild part is, once you start protecting your peace, people will act like you changed. And they're right, you did. You stopped letting chaos be normal. You stopped explaining yourself to folks committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped entertaining things that kept you stuck. Peace ain't passive, it's a daily decision. It's cutting off what doesn't serve you and choosing joy, calm, and clarity like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it really does. Everybody ain't meant to go where you're going. That's one of the hardest lessons to learn, but it's one of the most important. When you start leveling up, when your mindset changes, when your goals get bigger, when your purpose starts calling you louder, you're going to look around and realize that some of the people you've been walking with can't make that next climb with you, and it's not personal. It's just part of growth. See, elevation requires separation. You can't fly if you're constantly being weighed down. Some folks are comfortable where they are. They don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They want to stay in the same cycle, talking about the same problems, doing the same things, blaming the same people. And when you start breaking out of that pattern, it makes them uncomfortable, because your growth exposes their comfort zone. But you can't shrink yourself to fit in places you've outgrown. You can't dim your light just because it's too bright for people who prefer the dark. You've got to be okay with being misunderstood. You've got to be okay with walking alone for a while, because everybody clapping for you ain't really rooting for you. Some folks are only loyal to your old self, the version of you that didn't know better, that didn't dream bigger. And it hurts sometimes letting go of people you love, people you thought would be with you forever. But growth demands a new environment, new energy, new circles. You can love people and still move forward without them. You can wish them well and still walk away. Not everybody can go where you're headed, because where you're going requires a stronger, wiser, more focused version of you, and not everyone is ready to meet that version. Self-worth ain't selfish, it's survival. Knowing your value is not about arrogance. It's about understanding what you bring to the table and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Too many people walk around waiting for someone else to validate them, to tell them they're enough, to give them permission to shine. But the truth is, nobody is going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And if you don't believe you're worthy, people will treat you like you're not. When you know your worth, you stop begging for attention. You stop chasing after people who only show up when it's convenient. You stop explaining yourself to folks who are committed to misunderstanding you. You start setting standards, not because you think you're better than anybody, but because you finally understand you deserve better for yourself. It's not selfish to walk away from situations that drain you. It's not selfish to demand respect. It's not selfish to choose your peace over someone else's comfort. That's survival. That's saying, I matter. That's saying, I'm not going to abandon myself just to make somebody else happy. And let me tell you something. When you start moving with self-worth, everything changes. The way you talk to yourself changes. The way you let people treat you changes. The things you tolerate shift, because once you've tasted peace, once you've seen what it feels like to truly honor yourself, there's no going back. You stop accepting crumbs when you know you deserve the whole loaf. Some people won't like it. Some people will call it selfish. But that's only because they benefited from you not knowing your worth. And now that you do, their access changes, because the old you doesn't live here anymore and the new you has rules. If you don't value your time, nobody else will. Time is the one thing you can't get back, can't pause, can't rewind. Once it's gone, and yet so many people treat their time like it's disposable, handing it out to people and situations that don't deserve it. You sit in conversations that drain you, attend events you don't care about, say yes when your whole spirit is screaming no. Not because you want to, but because you're scared to disappoint someone else. But in doing that, you end up disappointing yourself. People treat your time the way you treat it. If you act like it's not valuable, they will too. They'll keep you on hold, show up late, ask for favors without regard, and expect you to be available 24/7. Why? Because you trained them that way. You never set the boundary, never said, my time matters. But once you start respecting your own time, something shifts. You begin to protect your schedule like you protect your peace. You stop explaining yourself for taking a break. You stop justifying your rest, your focus, your priorities, and here's the truth. Not everybody deserves access to you. Your time is a limited resource, and it should be invested, not just spent. Spend it on growth, on people who pour into you, on things that build you. Because wasted time is more expensive than any dollar you'll ever lose. Money comes back. Time doesn't. When you start moving like your time is precious, people will notice. The ones who truly respect you will adjust. The ones who don't were just using you to fill their own gaps. But either way, you'll start attracting what matches your value. And that only happens when you stop treating your time like it's unlimited and start treating it like it's sacred.